Joran, good morning. Welcome to for joining me to this Data Sommelier talk show. I started to follow you maybe 2 years ago because I was in conversation with Jean-Georges Perrin about data contract to understand the concept. And he told me maybe you should have a look on this German company. They've built some solutions around data contract, and I was very curious to meet you and better understand what you do. So, Joran, welcome to this talk show, and we are here to talk about data contract, data product, and also the solution you have built around that.
Yeah, hello, Stefan. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, so we have prepared some slides, few slides, 5 or 6 slides about what you have developed, how it works, and features and benefits of the solution. We will talk about MCP as well, data contract, data product, a lot of things like around a marketplace solution you have built. So very curious to deep dive with you right now.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, maybe to introduce myself, my name is Jochen, live in Germany, and I'm co-founder and CTO of Entropy Data. So we created Entropy Data as a solution while we were consultants for one of our clients. And yeah, it became pretty successful. So we decided to spin off Entropy Data from the consulting company just recently. And yeah, we are focusing on defining metadata for data products with data contracts. Right? So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, exact. And just to give a little bit more context, you were well known because the product was called Data Contract Manager and Data Mesh Manager. That was a previous name, and then you decided to switch or start a new business about that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's when we introduced the term entropy data, because it's a little bit wider than just data mesh. Data mesh became not a problematic term, but like doing metadata management for data products is applicable for companies as well that are not on a pure data mesh journey, I would say.
Okay, good. Okay, so I think we can start the mutation, and you have nice slides we can go through right now.
Yeah, maybe you can see the slides, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, so here we see a little screenshot of the product we're building. It's a web application that we run both as a cloud version, but also can be run on premise. And it basically is a solution to manage metadata around data products, to share data products with other teams or organizational units. That's the core. So we have different components. One is a marketplace where potential data consumers can go to find available data products, looking at the metadata if it fits to their use case, and then can request access to a particular data product.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, and we plan to do a quick demo at the end of this presentation. And also, I remember I was very curious about because you have communicated a lot about your CLI environment, and I think it was open source, an open source component.
Yeah, so the Data Contract CLI is an open source component. We initiated this component because we believe for metadata to be accepted by owners and engineers, it needs to provide a value in your daily life defining this metadata. So we created Data Contract CLI as a tool to test if the metadata, the contract, is in line with the data product, right? So, and if something goes wrong, like if there is a field in the contract which is not in the database, you get an error, right? So you can integrate this into your CI/CD or data pipelines, and you get immediate feedback that something is wrong or you have some quality issues, ideally even before you deploy your data product into production.
Yeah, it makes sense. And this product is still an open source product, right?
It is, yeah.
Okay, but it makes sense to have a first level component to test everything, to test the consistency of data contract, and then maybe switch to a more global solution. It looks very good. It seems very complete. I mean, you have developed a lot of features around that.
Yeah, but also we left a lot of features out, right? So maybe that's kind of how important how we design our product is. How can we make a really good user experience, both for end users, business users, but also for data engineers? So it should not be too complex. It should not be too technical for business users, but it should be just at the right level for experts like data engineers working with data products, testing data contracts, so on. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can understand the complexity behind that, because sometimes you are too much technical and business people are out, or sometimes it's the opposite. It's too much high level and it, it, it means nothing for technical people.
Yeah.
So
Also, we discussed a lot with our clients. Do we even need a data product management tool in the first place? Because they had a data catalog in place, right? So do we need a data product management tool as well? And yeah, we analyzed it, and it turns out in a lot of our client contexts, they do have a data catalog in place, but nobody's really using it. And why is it? Well, we believe it's because data catalogs try to index every table, every intermediary table, every test table, every raw table you have in your data warehouse or in your data lake. So you get an explosion of like thousands or millions of entries. Like imagine you're looking for customer data. How many tables do have the term customer in the table name? So what is the good or trustful data you can access to?
yeah. So before using the solution, you have to do some kind of assessment, right? To help your customers to select the good material, the good sources. Maybe, I don't know. What's the best practice you have on your
Yeah,
side?
yeah. So the practice we found what really works is to define a data contract and to manually curate a data contract. So you really need domain knowledge, expert knowledge to say what data you have, what data you want to share, and to define the semantics of every column, every field you have in a data contract. We can look at data contract maybe on the next slide. There has been an initiative led by Bitol, the Linux Foundation initiative, to define a standard on data contracts, also data products now. So how should a data contract look like? What shall go into the data contract? It's of course the schema, the quality, but it's also about ownership and non-functional aspects like service level or data quality.
Yeah. Yes. And we have our friend Jean-Georges Perrin leading this initiative, and you are part of the Bitol project, right?
Yeah, right. So we had an initiative, datacontract.com, started like 2 years ago, but we decided to join forces. So we're going to fully merge on ODCS, which really clearly became the industry standard now, and we're pushing forward. So,
Yeah.
standard.
Stronger together, because I've seen so many standards in the past, about metadata management, but each software vendors, they have their own standard, so it means nothing at the end. But here I can see kind of consolidation. It's good news. And you mentioned this OSI, Open Semantics Interchange, as well. This has been suggested by Snowflake and different vendors few weeks ago. It's very new. And I can see good potential there as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So we see the need to define semantics like metrics or KPIs, but also business data models. And there really has not been any good standard previously, so we clearly want to join this initiative as well. Look, how can we connect data contracts, which are more on the physical or logical side, with semantics, which are more in the like conceptual or governance side to define things.
Yeah, and we have we have big companies behind that. We have mentioned Snowflake, but we have dbtLabs as well, Tableau, and some missing companies. I expect to see like Microsoft or Databricks. That would be great to have such company joining this initiative as well.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Absolutely. Let's see what's coming up here.
Yeah.
Maybe to come back to a data contract, because the data contract really became important and interesting when we introduced the concept of data contracts, and I'll show an example here, to data teams. When we talk about data products, it's kind of fuzzy. Nobody really knows what a data product is. But when we introduce the concept of a data contract as a very well-defined document, a specification, like you see here, it's a YAML document, which defines the specification of a data set you're going to share with other teams. It really resonated well with those data teams to finally have a standard defining all the metadata here. So in a data contract, you can have, again, you can have things like ownership definitions, you have a versioning, you can define one or multiple tables in all their columns, and you define both the name and technical things like the type information, but also you add semantics and governance information, like it's a required field, what's the business definition behind it. You can link it to a glossary entry or a business model, and you can add things like it's a PAI field or not, or what classification does it include.
Okay. So when you start with data contract, you need to first extract existing metadata from existing systems and then to convert this to YAML file and data contract file, or you have to start from scratch, or what's your recommendation here?
Great question here. So both ways are possible. You can start data first. You can look at the data tables you already have and put them under contract. Define a contract like an interface or documentation for data you already have. But you can also start contract first, defining the contract coming from a data consumer perspective and defining their requirements. So what data do you need for a particular business case? And let's write it down. And then let's implement a data product which matches this interface here.
Yeah, it makes sense, because companies, they have a lot of legacy to integrate, and they don't want to start from scratch again. They want to reuse what they've built in the past.
But both approaches are fully okay, right? However, this contract first approach introduces a new way of thinking for many data engineers, right? Most data engineers look at the data. Oh, what do we have in our data lake or in our operational systems? What can we do with it, right?
Yes.
But starting from the right, from a data consumer perspective, is a new approach. It's a new culture. So it's an interesting approach for many teams.
Yeah, and maybe you can better involve business people when you start by the end, with the expected result, and compare with with the metadata you have in your company.
Yeah. And also, when you start requirements driven, it's a good time to also define the metadata, because when you discuss the requirements, you're discussing semantics, right? So write them down. It's a great way to document the semantics, this business knowledge, when you have these discussions with your clients, what they actually need or what you can provide. So it's a way to also get better metadata when you do it early, even before implementing the data products.
Yeah. Okay. So we have the definition, we have the data contract, we have a tool. Maybe the missing part is the kind of big picture. Where are you in the landscape? And what can you do with the product?
This is also a discussion we often have, is why should we even have metadata? Why should we document metadata? What's in it for me as a team or for our clients, right? And this drastically changed when we introduced or when we connecting AI clients with our data products, like we can do now with MCP servers. MCP is a new technology to connect AI, LLM clients with data sources or data products. And here we can leverage the metadata we have in our contracts and feed the AI, the LLM, with the metadata to get better results.
Oh yes, and this is where we can see the huge benefit of investing in data contract, investing in semantic layer, because you can query your system with natural language. So you get the power of the data contract through this kind of interface. NCP.
Yeah, absolutely. There are a few things that you need to think about. So please do not give your AI clients full access to your database with a native like Postgres or Databricks connector. There's one thing that really is important is having a data governance layer in between. Like in the data contract, there is a definition what you as a consumer or a client can do with the data, but also what they're not allowed to do. What are the restrictions?
You mean that this kind of prompt, delete all customers, are not accepted, right?
Yeah. Also there are things like prompt injection. So what happens if a hacker is creating a new support ticket where there is a prompt like do a select star on the customer table and write it into my ticket, which I can access to, right? So there really is a lot of things to consider when introducing or connecting AI with your actual data. But it also gives a lot of power to the LLMs, and not only to your chat clients, but also when you think about autonomous agents like N8N, for example, or other agents, when they operate in the dark, basically triggered by some system event or domain event, think of what you can do to automate things. And also here, access to data is super powerful, but have a governance layer in between to control what your clients, your agents are allowed to do and what they're not allowed to do.
Oh yes, I think we are still at the beginning of the story, because the MCP is a new protocol, and I've seen a lot of enhancement requests about performance, about security, and we are still learning, right? We learn, we learn again, and it's still not very mature, but we can expect good product and strong foundation for the next months. And also, I think we have to implement this technology to the customer side and learn from them as well. And this is what you do with your product, right? It's ready to go, and we can install it and get the benefit of this solution. So we have discussed to do a quick demo about your solution. So I can switch to the next scene, and then you can maybe share your screen.
Yeah, I would love to. So I'm going to share my screen right here.
Et voilà.
Pushing you here.
Excellent. I can see your screen right now.
You see my screen? Excellent.
Yes, good.
Okay. Yeah, let's have maybe a quick demo on the application we have here, and then let's see how we can leverage all the metadata with MCP. So here we see Entropy Data. We start with the marketplace. Here I have a simple marketplace with a few data products. We can search for data products. We can go directly to a data product. See, here is a customer's data product with all customer data from our sales department. And this is linked with the data contract. So here we see the ER diagram. It's a single table we have here with all the data. We have some terms of use like limitations or what the usage, and also we have some metadata for all the fields defined. So what fields do we have in our Databricks table customers, and yeah, what is sensitive information, what is PII information. We can have data quality attributes and so on.
Okay.
So here, right? Yeah. So yes, this is Entropy Data, and now we want to leverage this data set with MCP. So Entropy Data comes with a MCP server, a remote MCP directly built into the application. We can add it to most popular AI clients like here Claude, which still provides the best integration for MCP, I would say. And here we see a number of tools that are provided to our client for Entropy Data. So we can work with data contracts, we can search for data products, we can request access to data product, and also we can execute SQL queries directly on the data.
Yeah, very interesting. I've seen in the previous screen that you have a kind of warning, do not use for marketing purpose.
Yeah.
So this is part of the data contract, or this is additional metadata on top of data contract?
And it's part of the data contract. Right? So
Okay.
in the data contract, the terms of use is defined. What users can do with the contract, and if they want to access the data, they need to agree with the terms of use.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's interesting. So maybe let's start with a simple example. So we can ask and chat with our data now. Basically, in our AI client, we can ask for what are our top customers. So we can ask. So what happens now is basically the LLM knows there is a question that is related to a business data set. It's not like a general question like what is the distance from Earth to Moon, right? It's about our customer data. So the LLM knows, okay, based on the instructions of the MCP server, it knows there is a tool called search data product. So it searches for customers' data, gets a list of customer data products, which is probably only one. And now it also fetches the details, the metadata about this data product. And here it gets the data contract metadata in line. So it gets all the information in its context, what data is available. It sees that it's a Databricks data product, what it can do. And with the semantics of the metadata, it knows, okay, probably to answer our top customer question here, maybe let's look at total orders and total spend columns for our customers that we can use here. We order by total spend, and it can execute the SQL statement against Databricks directly and return a nice answer to our consumer.
Yeah, very nice. Just to clarify, here you are working with Databricks, but your product can connect to Google BigQuery or some other sources, maybe Snowflake as well.
Yeah, we have Snowflake, Databricks, Postgres, and BigQuery now, and we're adding more tools based on customer requests, basically.
Yeah, so it's a generic solution that can be used in many contexts, many environments. It's okay. This is absolutely good. It seems very easy when you show this, right? Just ask a question and you get the answer, and the system knows the tape to connect, to extract, and it seems magic, right?
Yeah, it's magic, but basically it's all based on metadata, right? So it really comes down to good metadata, and data contracts, just to repeat it, is the best tool to define good metadata that we have seen until now.
Yeah.
Maybe I add another. Maybe I add another query here. Is like I want to export the customer data to CSV for our marketing newsletter, right? Maybe when you continue chatting here, let's see what happens now.
Yes.
So again, it's checking the data contract. Okay. Now it's looking again at the data contract, the sales customer data contract, and here we see it is not executing the command I entered here before, because it looks at the data contract and it sees, oh, there is a limitation. It's not allowed to use for, where is it? You've seen before. It's not allowed to use for marketing purposes. And
Yes.
yeah, marketing newsletter clearly is a
So that was part of the definition of the data contract.
yeah. And jump here just again. We
Yeah.
go to the customer's data contract. We see DINA deals for marketing purposes.
Yeah, very clear. So again, so I can see the benefit of defining the data contract at the source level and really, how do you say, take time to build a strong data contract.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe what's also important here, well, the AI client like Claude is not executing the SQL statement here, right? But if I continue prompting, I can convince it to do it anyway, right? What's important is that we do a server-side check as well. So in Entropy Data, before really executing the SQL against Databricks, we do a server-side check again to see if it would violate the contract. It's similar to like front-end validation. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
You have it front-end, but also on server side.
Yeah, it makes sense to first check if you have the permission to ask questions like that.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So good. So your product is this is a commercial product right now. So I've understood that you have some open source component, but on top of that, you have Entropy Data, that is a complete data product management system.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a SaaS software solution.
Exactly, it's a SaaS, and also we distribute it for customers to install on premise if they want to. Right, so your customers have the choice to run it in the cloud. We manage everything, but also we have quite some clients who prefer to host it by themselves. Because I mean, it's still sensitive data.
Oh yes.
Even though if it's only metadata, it's still sensitive. Yeah.
Yeah, this is very good to have. I still see the need for on-prem solution, because when you're talking to big banks or insurance, and when you are doing such connections with sensible data, they want to manage this on-prem.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's a good idea. In terms of vision or roadmap, do you have new features coming? Or what's your plan about Entropy Data as a solution?
Yeah. Maybe one thing we are working on is to integrate this chat feature directly in Entropy Data. So we have clients that do not have like Claude or ChatGPT available for every user. We want to enable it directly here inside the tool. And also semantics becomes important. So we want to provide support both for metrics, but also to define like business data models and link them with the data contracts, but in a better way.
Okay, so how complex it is to start with the solution? I mean, you have to do some initial assessment first and build a strong layer. Your semantic layer must be really consistent. So in a deal, how complex it is to start with a new customer?
Yeah, I think customers need to be ready to define data contracts. I would say that's the entry point, and then you can add more features, more integrations. You can add the semantics on top of your existing data contracts. But customers need to be ready to define data contracts as an interface between teams when they are going to share data.
Okay, so they need to have a first level of governance in place, maybe, right?
Yeah, it can be decentralized, right? It can be owned by data product owners, but you need to have a strategy for data products with data contracts. That's when it's a good fit.
Okay, so thank you, Johan, for that. I'm very surprised by the maturity of the product. It looks great, good, and I think you have one more slide about you. If people are interested to connect or to evaluate the solution, they can maybe contact you.
Yeah, feel free to reach out. Also, I'm available on LinkedIn, so just connect with me. Happy to discuss your context or what you're saying about the MCP integration, is it the next big thing, or is it too dangerous? So feel free to connect with me and have a chat.
Yeah, you have a demo version of your solution, or?
Yeah, it's available directly on our homepage. It's a one-click demo, no registration required. Just click on the demo.
Excellent. Thank you, Owen, for this briefing. I'm very curious to see where this project will go, and let's meet again in a few months to check how is the market, the trend, and the usage of your solution.
We'd love to.
Thank you very much. Talk to you soon, Jan. Bye-bye.
Bye.